Hey guys, today I'm doing a quick video playthrough of the grade 1 group A piece called Soul Babies. Or Babes. Babes. Babies is a Y in it. This is by Clark Tracy. We've seen Clark Tracy do a couple of pieces already. And this is a Latin feel. And it says bossa as well. So it is a kind of a bossa nova style. Very simplified because the bossa nova is what's called a polyrhythm. It has two different rhythms happening at the same time, and this is a simplified version of that. It kind of stands out from a normal drum beat. There's a lot of rim click, and there's a lot of tom play at the end of each phrase, a lot of use of the ride cymbal. So let's just get started into it. It's about 110 BPM. Practice phrases individually before you try and piece this piece together. The first two bars are played together. It's a 2-bar phrase, so we'll try and practice those together. It's a mainly crotchet based groove, meaning they're whole notes. 1, 2, 3, and then we have a 4 and on the right hand, or on the left hand I should say, on the rack tom, and then we have a 4 and on the left hand on the floor tom on the second bar. So this is the way it goes: bass and ride 1, ride, rim click and hi-hat pedal 2. All three things together. Then ride and bass 3, and then ride, rack tom and floor tom 4, and a 4 rack tom on its own and. So it goes 4 and. So this is the count of it: 1, 2, 3, 4 and. We have an almost carbon copy of that on bar 2, except for the 4 and being up here. It's going to be down here in the floor tom. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Don't fall into the trap of allowing your right hand to play the and of the 4 on the right cymbal, because both hands are more comfortable playing together, so you might get a 4 and. If you catch yourself doing that, just take note, there is no ride there on the and. 1, 2, 3, 4 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 and. Now, stay on those 2 bars until you get comfortable with it. Not only because it's good to be comfortable with that phrase, but that phrase repeats itself a lot. So if you look at the second half of the first line, you can see there's a 2 written over the bar, there's 2 slashes and 2 dots. That's the symbol for repeat the last 2 bars. Okay? So remember I told you that was a 2-bar phrase? They want that 2-bar phrase played again. So on bar 3 and 4, it's a repeat of 1 and 2. On bar 5 and 6, it's a repeat of bar 1 and 2. So you're going to play that 2-bar phrase 3 times. I'm going to do that for you now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. 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 So there's our 3 times, 3 repeats of the 2-bar phrase. And then on 7 and 8, we start that phrase again, but it changes for bar 8. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and like you'd expect on bar 7. And then bar 8 goes 1, 2, just like normal. And then the fill comes on the 3 and on the 4. This is a half-bar fill. So the fill goes 3 and 4 and, with our feet going bass drum. So it's going to be 3 and 4 and. So let me try 7 and 8 for you. Go 1, 2, 3. Something to work on as well. So that's section A, or that's part A. Part B, then we switch to quavers on the hi-hat. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, we're now going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and. So we're playing all the ands in between the numbers. Everything else stays the same. We've got our bass drum on 1, we got our hi-hat pedal on 2 with the rim click, we got our bass drum on 3, we got our hi-hat pedal on 4 with the tom-tom. So that all stays the same. The only thing that's changing is our quavers on the hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That brings us to bar 15, because we've played that phrase 3 times, just like we did in section A. We're doing it again in section B with quavers on the hats instead of crotchets. So then on 15 we got the same thing as we had on, I guess we could say bar 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the first half of the phrase plays like normal. And now we have a full bar fill, and it starts on the floor tom, 1, then it comes to the snare, 2 and rack tom, 3 and back to the floor tom, 4. So that fill on its own is 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So to practice that, you want to go 15 and 16 together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Just do it until you're really comfortable with it. You want to get comfortable enough with your fills so that when you get to them, there's no panic. The change doesn't throw you off. It's like, whew, I got to the fill. I know this fill. So just practice your fills until you're really comfortable with them. Now section C, it changes. It's like we've got a drum solo part. If you've looked at your rudiments, which you should have, you'll notice that in 17, this is a paradiddle sticking. It's right, left, right, right. Except it's not going to be staying on the floor tom and the snare drum. It then switches for the 3 and 4 and to the snare drum and the rack tom. 3 and 4 and. So, without pedals, just try that. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. So the left hand doesn't have to move, but the right hand for the second half will come up to the rack tom. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that will repeat on 18. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Get comfortable with that sticking and then add in your feet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's bass drum on 1, hi-hat on 2, or on 3. 3 and 4. So there's a rest on the 2. I probably delayed that wrong the first time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we repeat on 18. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's 17 and 18. Now we go to doubles. 1 and 2 and you move up to the rack tom for 3 and 4, and just like with the paradiddles, 3 and 4 and now we just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So you got to get really comfortable with this line. It's a fill based line. It's not something that it's like groove based, so you can just get used to it. This needs practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and just stick on that line until you're comfortable. Now we're back into a groove based pattern, but it's not one we've seen before. It's a straight rock beat with our bass drum on 1, our hi-hat pedal and our rim click on 2, our bass drum on 3, and our hi-hat rim click and ride, hi-hat pedal, rim click and ride on 4. And we have, because it's quavers, you're going to have all the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeats itself on 22, 23, 24. And it changes ever slightly on 24. You get 1 and 2 and then you get 3, 4, 2 crotchets. So that's kind of the exit out with that feel. So here's that line from 21. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, now we're into section D. It's 25 is the first bar of it, and it's exactly the same as we had on the intro on A. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Now this last bar is interesting. It's something you might not have seen before. Those strikes are play similar, so they want you to play something that's going to fit the piece. They don't want you to do a big fill because they give you a rhythmic pattern that they have that they want you to apply. So they want you to hit something on 1 for 1.5 beats. That note's last, so the next one's going to be and a 2. So it's 1, 2 and. That ties into the 3, so you don't hit the 3, and then you play again on the 4, which ties out over onto the 1 in the next bar. So this is going to be the rhythm of it. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1. Okay? The best thing to do with that is to hit your crash and your bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that again. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a little trill, a little bit of a roll on the cymbal. 4, 1. Just keep that ringing out because they want that to tie over onto the 1 of the next bar. 4, 1. Doesn't have to be fancy. Nothing fancy required. So that last section is a repeat of the first section, and then you add in that little outro on the cymbals. I hope that all makes sense. These talk-through videos, they take time, but I think they're worth it because just playing the piece doesn't really explain what's really going on, and you might see someone doing it and go, oh man, I don't know how to do that, I don't know what he's doing, I don't know how he's counting that. So I'm hoping these explanation videos are useful to you. Let me know if you're enjoying the series. Let me know if there's any particular pieces you want me to cover that I haven't already. There is a playlist I'm putting together that has all these videos in it, so look for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'm now going to go and do a performance of this with the backing track, so look for that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys shortly. Bye.